the best I can explain it is like you feel each other out. Like if something happens or you come out the wrong direction, the other person kind of feels it and then they automatically adjust. But that's definitely a developed skill.
So this is our 7th season, so many years.
Yeah, it's been a while since 2019.
One thing I've always said is, you're talking about two individuals coming together to try to do great things. Obviously for us in our sport, it's on the ice. And so, yeah, it's a full-time commitment where we show up every day, we're trying to be our best selves and work together to create greatness.
Oh, it's a lot. From sometimes 6, 7 a.m. Sometimes depends all day.
We get a lot of each other. Sometimes
Yeah.
too much. I think our best events when we look back has been when we can really feel this feeling of unity and togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly what you said. It happens from the moment we connect with hands. It happens at a glance. It just happens when we can look into each other's eyes and I can feel her present there with me and she can feel the same thing.
Mm-hmm. As for cues, which I think maybe what you're talking about at competition, like before we start, there's like small cues, like a little nod or something like we got this, or little hand signals like repeat is like that, or like this means like do it again or something like that. So we do have our little cues, or like when we both know we got this, or like a little cue, there's like a little hand squeeze. But I think yes, we do talk if it's necessary, but I think that what really helps is like mileage that we have together. They can each partner can kind of guide you, and you can, the best I can explain it is like you feel each other out. Like if something happens or you come out the wrong direction, the other person kind of feels it and then they automatically adjust. But that's definitely a developed skill that comes along with a lot of years together.
Right.
So then there's no words necessary. Like something happens and you're just like, whoop, and nobody could tell. But in the beginning, like if it's a new program, for example, and something happens and we get a little lost, then yeah, like it is quite hard to recover and you're a little bit like, oh, where do I go?
Well, you see us out there on the ice. You see our costumes. You see the two of us skating, getting through our routines. But what you don't see is what's happening behind the scenes. We have our coaches. We have our mentors. Mm-hmm. Her mother, in fact, is actually the ones who makes our costumes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's being able to trust your village is what I like to call it. And, somehow in some way, shape, or form, it all seems to come together when the time's right.
Yeah, I think every team has their own kind of dynamic, like who's leading, who's making decisions, and hopefully, but as the years go by, they would find that what suits them and what works for them. So yeah, and then also, like you said, kind of referring to our team around us to give kind of second, third opinions. But that's for us. Maybe not every team, maybe one person calls all the shots for another team, but we kind of collaborate and work together on our decisions. Yeah.
We were in a previous interview and our words were, it's such a shock, it's such a tragedy, and it will never be the same. Us being here at the club, especially being kind of at the forefront of that event, being just because we come here and a lot of the familiar faces that were lost that day were very close to us. And it will never be the same. It's so pleasing to see the club and the community here step in and really try to do things to commemorate the lost. And so for us, we try to do our part and our best to be part of that community and bring great support. And we love and miss all the wonderful lives that unfortunately had to be lost in that tragedy.
It was very difficult for everyone to even step into the ice rink because those people that we had lost here, they meant so much to all of us. And as time went by, you could really see everyone from the club. You could see the strength of the club and, the program and what we built here for those 100 years really come together as a family and, support each other in every way that they could. And even now, like, you know, we're finding ways to commemorate them with memorials, and you can see that kind of program and everything continue to carry on. The time here after the tragedy, it was very hard to go through. There was, you know, we have a memorial kind of upstairs for Vadim and Jenya and, you know, Spencer and everyone that we lost. But so that's kind of ingrained in, you know, in our everyday lives, and we do our best to, you know, support each other. But I personally didn't see it.
Yeah, I think everyone reacts to those types of things differently.
Yeah.
For me personally, being able to see those memories and again, those types of videos that are put together, I want to, it's a way for me to connect with them still, even though they're not here. And so for me, you know, I want to be able to watch those things, even if I'm competing or even if I'm going into a show. At the end of the day, life is, you know, a lot bigger than skating. It's about people. It's about how we can serve and how we can be kind to each other. And so yeah, for me, I think that all those things that they've been doing, that video is something that's really important to me, and it touches me. And yeah,
You know, they had also big dreams, and it really means a lot to us to really commemorate our skating to them and just honor them while we're skating for them.
And it shifts your perspective on life.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
You realize that the moment that you have here, while you're here on this earth, is really valuable. And so when we see the memorial, it tells me, it sends me a sign, don't waste time. You know, if you want to do something, go and do it. And like you said, because our life is skating right now, we show up and it's not always easy. A lot of time and effort and challenge goes into, you know, being great on the ice. And so for me, it's been a wake-up call and a shift in perspective to say, hey, like, this is the time, do it now. And yeah, in a sense, it is doing it for them, because that experience is teaching me that what's really important. This is something that we've been working for us.
It feels like a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I've been skating
Long time.
now for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And she's been skating, I think, even more than that, right?
24 years. Yeah.
And so
long time.
we're ready to, for this season, just give it our all and see where the cards fall. But we'll be super honored and grateful if we're on that team, that's for sure.
Perfect, thank you. Yours is much better than mine.
Hi, I'm Ellie Cam.
And I'm Danny O'Shea, and we're pair skaters here at US Figure Skating. Usually there's a little bit of an age difference in pairs. Men have to be a little stronger and more mature in order to make sure that they keep their partners safe. But 14 is a little bit on the extreme side for sure. It's just something that happened kind of organically for us. I've been on Team USA for about 14 years now, representing our country around the world. And when I had stepped away to retire, our coach at the time, our coach now, asked me to come in and help him with the pairs program that he had been starting up, work with all the girls who didn't have partners, and it was fun for me, kept me in shape, and I got to come into the rink three times a week. Ellie, at the time, you had another partner.
Yeah, I had another partner, and then it was just like right place, right time. You know, he was there, and he was like still kind of training, but not really, and just like trying to figure out life. And then, you know, there's a situation with my first partnership that ended in the middle of the season, and I was just open, ready to try and find a new partner. And he was just like, I guess I'll try skating with you. And like, we didn't, usually there's a tryout period of like, you know, a week or so where you like see if things will, you know, work out. And like, but we were like on a very fast track since like the moment we started skating together. We like didn't really have a tryout. We were like, oh, this feels pretty good. I guess we're skating together.
It was the middle of September at that point, right?
Yeah.
And the season had already started, and we spent 2 days kind of skating together, and then it was like, all right, when are we competing?
Our first event was my first international ever, and it was like crazy because we were only skating together for like 3 months.
2 months.
2 months at that point.
And Ellie won.
Yeah.
Her first international, yeah. So.
But it's been like pretty much all international competitions other than nationals for us since then, and that's like, it's been such a big jump for me in like my career, but it's been like such a fast track that it was hard to enjoy it in the beginning, but like really like taking the time to like kind of smell the roses and like enjoy the fact that we're doing really well and we're kind of carving our own path has been definitely a process, but it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, and then year 2, we started trying to focus on enjoying the process, but it was step up from not just internationals into Grand Prix now.
Yeah.
And that process of a little more intensity, and there was a lot of growing pains in year 2 as we just stepped into an even more intense stage right together. And then year 3, this past season, we really were able to solidify the team.
Yeah.
I think it was something that was really important to us, that we came together and weren't just 2 people helping each other out or skating at the same time, but approached everything as a team. Despite that age difference that you spoke about at the beginning, we were able to really stand side by side and approach all of this with a unison mindset.
Yeah.
So it's been,
I mean, I think there was always an effort to just like be even and equal.
sure.
Like that was something that Danny, with all of his experience, he brought into this partnership. Like, because I pretty much didn't know anything about it, and he was like, well, like he really insisted on us being like equals, even though I had so much less experience. And I think that the effort that we had put into that from the very beginning only really started to gel last year when we finally were able to start taking steps as a team instead of like, you know, individually. And like, it did take a bit of time for us to really get comfortable and really start to feel solid and like trust, you know.
develop that
Yeah.
trust for sure.
You reach your 30s, right, and you start to mellow out a little bit about some of the pressure that surrounds you in life.
Yeah.
But at 20, you've got to drive.
Yeah.
So it seems like that maybe comes together really well.
It's been an amazing coincidence, maybe, but I think
Yeah.
life has a way of working out exactly as it should, and I'm happy to be in the space that I am. So grateful to have Ellie by my side as we're going through all of this, and we've both described it as a second chance. It's fully a second chance for me because I have been through Olympic cycles and that whole thing before, and been very close in 2018 being the first alternate, and coming back this time and approaching it from that point of gratitude and really enjoying the process a bit more. And that's so cliche to say, right? So cliche, but
It's so true,
it's so
though.
true.
That's why everybody
honestly,
says
right?
it.
When you can finally figure it out, it really helps.
Yeah, but for me, I was a single skater for most of my career, and I never really imagined like being able to represent Team USA on like such a level. Like it was always a dream of mine, but I don't know if I ever actually imagined that it would come true. So, you know, stepping into pairs has been like a really new second experience for me, and it's kind of brought new life into my skating career and like my passion for skating, because it's really brought like new things for me to learn and enjoy, and like it's so much new opportunity and experience that I wanted to have, but I didn't think that I was going to get, and then now I get to experience it with somebody by my side, and that just like makes the whole experience so much better, you know.
You both train in the Springs. You're kind of from the Springs.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time. School here. You still
Yeah, I
train
went to
here,
high
you have family
school.
here. You talked about it in the Zoom and how that support is here as well.
Yeah.
It's a great town to train in. It's a great town to come
Yeah.
from,
Yeah, it's
right,
super
Ellie?
special. My dad and both of my older brothers, they went to the Air Force Academy, and we're staying at the hotel right next to there right now. So everything is just like so close to home, and it's so personal, and like the experience of you know, getting to try and reach new goals and push ourselves, you have to have like a village around you to support you through that. Like doing it alone, it's kind of impossible, I think, at least, or at least it wouldn't be so enjoyable. You know, being able to share what you learn about yourself and what you learn about other people through such a unique experience is what makes our job as athletes really special. And like having my parents around and Danny's parents around just makes that so much better. Like when we succeed, they also succeed, and when we fail, they're there right next to us, you know?
Yeah, helping hand right back up. Yeah. It's been amazing having Colorado Springs support us, and we've seen it in so many ways. It's Olympic City, right? So having that spirit behind the Olympics is amazing, but we experience it in a very personal way. People in the coffee shops, like we go to Loyal all the time, and they recognize us. And you go through the different sandwich shops and the different dry cleaning, right? It's just a community while being a fairly large city. And I think that that's something super special about Colorado Springs, and the ability to have just like casual conversations with people who really know what you're trying to achieve and are supporting you along that journey is something really special.
Danny, you're 34.
Yeah.
You make it to the Olympics in pairs. Aren't you setting? Isn't that kind of like no one's done that yet, or you're one of the few at 34?
So I'm not sure about the statistics of it, but there are some older people within pairs that get there. I think that it would be an achievement for me no matter what age.
Try it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I'm excited about the opportunity for sure. Motivation is a choice, right? You're dedicated, right? I think creating good habits just leads to amazing motivation, and it's pretty easy to be motivated. We're working really hard together. We're succeeding, right? So that side of things allows for motivation to continue fully. This off season, I had 2 surgeries. I had broken my foot at right before World Championships, and we competed on a broken foot this past season at Worlds, and then dealt with a sports hernia that I had been nursing for most of the season. So this off season the past 2 months have been really focused on recovery and trying to make sure we approach this season very healthy and an approach of holistic, right? Like gonna come at it prioritizing working our butts off, but also prioritizing recovering and being healthy and being able to peak and achieve February, not just the beginning of the season. So February at the games is the ultimate goal, and
just setting really clear steps along the way, because you know there's so many steps that we have to still accomplish, while our final goal is still hopefully, you know, Worlds and Olympics at the end of the season.
For sure.